everybody. This is Judy Reese of Homestar. Today on our podcast, we are going to talk about buying a home versus renting a home. This is a huge question that so many people have. And today I have my co-host and branch manager, Zach, here with me.
Hi, everybody.
Today we also have a special guest, Jeff Rayno of Weichert Realty, who covers the Chatham, Effingham, Liberty, Bryan, Candler, and Bullock counties. Welcome, Jeff.
Well, thank you both for having me here today. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. We appreciate you coming on.
All right, let's dig into some advice for when anyone is wondering if buying a home or renting a space is better for them, to buy or to rent. That is the question. The reason to buy or rent your home is not always so cut and dry. No one can say it's always the better decision to buy a home or if it's always the better decision to continue renting. There are a lot of variables that come into play. So, Zach, what are some questions that people should consider with this decision?
Well, a few questions that we definitely like to start with. Are you locked into your career? And are you locked into where you're living? Are you more of a rolling stone who's trying to bounce around and test a few things out, jobs and places? What's your overall financial situation? And then there are just a number of important questions that we asked that you have to answer that really kind of helps us both help you make an informed financial decision of whether you should buy or continue renting.
Very true. And I think, Zach, we probably have been asked each one of those questions at some point. And Jeff, I'm sure as a realtor, you have had this very conversation with a lot of people. I read an article on Univest that listed some advantages and disadvantages to buying a home. What do you think are the most important things to consider when people are deciding between buying and renting?
That was a very interesting article, and it's about 5 things that really stood out to me, and 4 of which I'll flesh out, but one I'm going to let you folks do it later on because you expertise in the mortgage field will be better explained. But number 1, I think privacy for a homeowner is the fact that they own their home. It's private. They don't have to worry about how many people have keys to the front door. You choose who you give keys to. You own the home. It gives you much more control. And I think if you want to have a social event like the Super Bowl tonight happens to be on, you can control where people can park or where they can get out there in the street. Whereas if you're in a rental situation, the lease might not allow that. Another thing that came up was the idea of equity growth. And that's something I think Zach can touch on a little bit later on in a better fashion. The third thing I think was investing in the future. House prices will continue to rise. They're not going to get any cheaper. I can show you a graph from the 1960s that shows the steady increases of house prices as time went on. There was that one blip during 2007, 2008 when we had the mortgage crisis. But guess what? After that settled down, the prices kept going back up. It's incredible. They don't stop. I keep hearing people say, I'm going to wait for that market to cool down. It's not going to happen. We haven't seen it since the 1960s. Also, many people who own a home pay less than the people that pay rent. It didn't used to be that way, but it's getting that way now. And why is that? Because over time, the homeowner is paying their principal and their interest, and so the price is going down for them, and they're building equity, which is a great thing, which, again, Zach's going to talk about in a little bit. And then as home prices go up, the rent goes up. But as a property owner here in Chatham County, you've got the Stevens Day bill to protect you. That was passed in the 2000s. And because if it's your primary residence, you can apply for this. And it freezes your taxes in unincorporated Chatham County. There is a different version for the city of Savannah and also for the school board, which includes a CPI or a 3% increase, whichever is less. But if these are not satisfactory ways for you to freeze your taxes, you can always go before the Board of Appeals and file and win there. I've gone there every single time when I didn't like my home price value, and I've won every time because I had facts and information.
Nice.
So, Zach, did I miss anything?
No, I don't think you missed too much. The only thing that I'd say that is just something to think about is that there are some hidden costs when it comes to home ownership. And one of the biggest ones is maintenance. You know, a smart, responsible landlord is going to put money aside with your rental payments to kind of take care of future repairs or anything that the home is going to need. Kind of going on while you're there as an occupant. But when you own a home, all these costs really become your responsibility. And it doesn't mean you should rent, and that shouldn't scare you too much. It's just something that you should understand when it comes to costs involved in owning a home.
Well, let's take a realistic scenario. I had this client one time who was paying $1,500 in rent every month. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, nice place. That's a lot of money for a family to be dishing that out. And I pointed out to them, hey, if we could find you a house for $130,000 and we're going to get in that bidding war and it's going to be up to $150,000, and then we get ourselves a loan for 30 years at 4%, your payment's only going to be $716.12 per month. That's a savings of you of $784 per month times 12. That's $9,408 back in your pocket. That's plenty to pay your taxes. It's plenty to pay your maintenance costs. It's plenty to pay the HOA, and you can even still put some money into savings and start building the equity that you want. And so we always try to push people towards a Dave Ramsey type program that really helps them figure out how to manage their money.
Wow, these are awesome points from both of you. And there really are a lot of financial considerations for people in process of buying a home, for sure. I know that all of these questions, and especially a lot of the uncertainty of the market, the recent rent prices, rates going up, that's a lot for people to have to deal with. So, Jeff, what are your thoughts when comparing like the cost of renting and the cost of buying, especially in the past few weeks, the past few months, when things have just seemed really not very balanced?
Well, I tell people that if they're going to be out there trying to buy rather than rent, they should really be having a nest egg saved to 1 to 5% of the amount of the home they want to buy. They should be pre-qualified before they go looking for a home. People that go out there to try to look for a home without pre-qualifications, like putting the cart before the horse, is not a good idea. And you should be prepared to pay over the asking price. Cash is king, of course. Conventional is the next in line, and they fall in line after that. And you should have a clean offer. Gone are the days when we can ask for this, this, and this. And the deal, we have to see this is a clean deal. We're not asking for anything. We want you to get in this house. And those are the ones that usually win. Being prepared for closing costs, which could be as high as $6,000 or more. And, of course, every offer that you put in for a home should be the highest and best right from the get-go. And always protecting your credit, making sure you don't go out there and buy a car, don't go out and buy furniture, don't make big purchases. Protecting your credit is key in this type of environment.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's very smart. And I know a lot of people wonder, is now the right time to buy? And I mean, over the past couple of years, as the pandemic has kept people at home, it's really taken a hold and has led to people saving a lot of money that they had been spending. The real estate market, I think we've all seen, has heated up. Interest rates were at those historic lows, the housing prices, the demand skyrocketing, supply falling, making that a seller's market. And we've all heard about homes, as you were kind of alluding to, having multiple offers, selling well over list price. Maybe I should keep renting. Maybe I should wait. So, Zach, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about this question?
Well, I think Jeff alluded to it earlier as well when people kind of ask, oh, should I wait until the market cools off? Well, like he said before, it probably won't. We did have that one blip, which I think is in people's most recent memory, the crash that happened in 07, 08. And that's something that I think people have brought up to us. But, the times are very different. Back then, loans were being given out to people that couldn't truly afford them. And that's really what led to the crash. And now we've had a whole history and a whole new legal structure to the mortgage world where, you have to be able to afford it, and we have to prove that you can afford to be able to buy the house that you're buying. So The chances of a crash like that back then, probably not, but maybe house prices will cool off a little bit, but not enough that I think you should wait. Especially just getting into some pros about owning a house. Jeff said it before too. You can kind of do whatever you want with your house. If you want to paint your house Omaha orange, you can do that, unless you live in an HOA, but that's a whole nother story. You want to knock down some walls and do some construction in your house. You might need to pull a permit, but again, you can do that. Nobody's telling you no. And it's an investment. Looking just before, so obviously the pandemic numbers have thrown off some of the increase in home values, but according to a CNBC article towards the end of 2019, the expectation was that homeowners were seeing an 8 to 10% increase in property value year over year. And so, I mean, when you just look at it as an investment, it definitely makes more sense than renting.
Right. Yeah, that's smart. And so, Jeff, I will ask you. We've been talking about how the pandemic has made this a really wild time in real estate. What would you say, like, your best advice for clients is in this kind of sellers transitioning into buyers market?
This is there's an emotional side to real estate, which I think often gets left out of the equation. This is the biggest investment someone's going to make in their whole life, and the pandemic showed us how important and precious life is. And so this is giving people the opportunity to make quality changes in their life, and they're really taking advantage of that, to be able to work from home, to create an environment around them that once they step away from their desk and the work that they're doing and they go outside, they like what they see. It's not a city urban environment. Maybe they're moved out to the country. They might have taken to homeschooling their kids, lots of different lifestyle changes. The pandemic is actually, in one sense, was a curse, but in one sense, it was a blessing in the fact that it opened people's eyes up to the possibilities of what's going on around them. And I think that alone has been helpful. And to shepherd people along that journey has been a blessing for all of us.
Yeah, that's so well said. So, Jeff, thank you. I know personally we've had a couple clients together, and you do have some great experience, and we can all see just from what you've said today that you are someone who would be very much able to guide a person on their home buying journey. So I would say if you are looking for a realtor in the Chatham, Effingham, Liberty, Bryan, Candler, or Bullitt counties, reach out to Jeff Rayno at Weichert Realty. And Jeff, what is your best phone number and best email for people to reach out to you?
My best phone number is my cell phone. It's on me all the time, 912-507-1901. 912-507-1901. And if you go to my webpage, you'll find all the contact information there. It's just jeff.viewsavannahhomes.com. Again, that's jeff.viewsavannahhomes.com. You'll get my email. If I tried to say it down here, it's so long, even I don't get it right sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. It's true. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Jeff. And I do need to talk about one thing that you and I have talked about. Weichert soon is having a chili cookout in March. Are you going to be competing? Correct. I know Zach and I will bring some chili.
Well, I hope you're bringing your game on, because I was in the competition last year. While I didn't win, I am the kind of person that learns from my mistakes. I had some execution issues in the kitchen before the event, but nobody was sent to the hospital, but it just didn't turn out to be as good as the other ones. But this year, I'm going to bring the heat on, like Bobby Flay says, and it's going to be an award-winning chili. But I think if my wife brings her chili, I might be in trouble. So I don't know. We'll see. I might be.
I'm up for the challenge.
I'm excited. We're going to have so much fun. I'm excited. So let's wrap up. Everything we discussed today speaks to all of the things you need to consider before making the decision of buying or renting and figuring out which is a better choice for you. Once you make that decision that you're ready to buy a home, contact us. We are Team Creatia, and I will get you all of those links. Zach, any last words?
If you're in the market to get pre-qualified, please visit our blog, teamcreatia.com, and you can click the Apply Now button, and it'll take you right to complete an application. You can send us an email at teamcreatia@homestarfc.com, or you can give us a call at our office number, 912-600-2075. Or if you want, we're local to Savannah. You can come stop over at our office at 7505